The situation I'm about to talk about needs a little bit of backstory. It will all make sense in a second. So earlier in this year, you've probably heard the name Christopher Schultz. This man did what I'm putting up on the screen, and I'm going to explain how it happened. Christopher has two daughters, one that is 2 years old and one that is 16. First off, I'm going to talk about the account of the 16-year-old. The 16-year-old, reportedly from what I've looked at, has said that Christopher has a history of doing a lot of terrible things as a parent. From what I've looked at, he is a neglectful father, he's a drunk driver, and a really important detail is these people live in Arizona. Now, if you don't know anything about Arizona, you probably know one thing. It's hot. Now, what's the one thing you don't want to do in a hot location? Leave your kid unattended in the car for about 3 hours. What's even worse is I reportedly seen that this happened in the garage of his house, so he left his kid unattended in the car for 2 hours, well, 2 to 3 hours, in the garage. In a hot car. And because I know people like to defend the indefensible nowadays, someone's gonna say, oh, well, the car has an AC or something like that. Well, let me tell you something about this car. It turns off after 20 to 30 minutes. I'm sorry, but nowadays it seems like everything is an argument with people, so I had to add that anecdote for people who like to be loud in the back. Unfortunately, the 2-year-old did pass away. But you have to be thinking, what was so important that he had to leave his 2-year-old unattended in a car for about 3 hours? Now, if you thought it was work or an important business call or he was doing something and the kid was getting in the way, you'd be absolutely wrong. He just wanted to watch adult content and play video games. The absolute loser we're going to be looking at today was more concerned about choking his chicken than taking care of his own children. And something I want you to keep in mind during this entire thing that we're going to watch of him with the body cam footage is that the child is alive during the body cam footage, fighting for her life in the hospital with the mother. The child was not found until the mother came home and wondered where the child was. So during this entire scenario where we're looking at the body cam footage, just remember that this husband could be in the hospital, but he's not there. And for anybody who's not a complete gamer, I'm just going to take a random game like World of Warcraft. Let's say he's doing a World of Warcraft raid that happened to span over the course of an hour, or he was actually watching this adult content. Even if he did all that in conjunction, it would not take about 3 hours. It is not worth leaving your kid in the car for 3 hours. And hypothetically, if the video game he was playing was about 3 hours long, who cares? Because honestly, you should be watching your children. But with the backstory out of the way, we can actually just start watching the video. But I really just had to hammer all that into your mind. Please subscribe, and also condolences to the family.
They're going to Northwest.
Yeah, they're going to Banner right now. We're going to keep you updated with everything, okay? We just need to stand by with you right now, alright? Is that your wife out there?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to make sure she gets down there, okay? Alright, we have officers escorting her down there. If we need to, we will drive her down there, and we'll make the same accommodations for you, alright? We'll keep you updated with everything they have there.
Christopher Schultz remained in the family's home and officers stayed with him.
I want you to take complete notice of how Christopher's acting, cool, calm, and collected, and I want you to notice how that will change when they actually discuss punishment.
Thank you.
She wants me to try and get her right to the hospital.
Hey, we'll accommodate that for you, all right? We're just gonna need to get a statement from you about what happened, what's been going on. Obviously, I know this isn't easy for you, okay? It's not easy for anyone around right now. We're gonna keep you updated with everything we hear. Do you want to sit down somewhere? Where would you be most comfortable?
Sure, like...
You want me to refill this for you? Can I sit? Is that all right?
It's fine.
And what happened today?
We went to go back around, and we we didn't stop. We just came home. My daughters were at Elevate with my friend next door. They got home about 2:45 or so. And then we've just been hanging out at home. She was sleeping in the car, and I had the car on. But it has a sensor where every 30 minutes or so it'll turn off if you haven't moved.
I hope everybody heard that. He fully acknowledges that he put his toddler into a hot car on a hot day. He fully acknowledged that after 20 minutes he should have checked on his child because the car was going to automatically turn off. He fully acknowledges that he put his daughter in there while she was sleeping. When a child is sleeping, they do not move, meaning he had full knowledge of what was going to happen within the coming hours. He had full knowledge of how long that child should have been in there. And this pathetic piece of shit chose to bottom frag in Apex over his own fucking daughter. This loser chose the hub over his own daughter. So if you're wondering why this is being treated like a murder case, that's because it is. He had full acknowledgement of what he was doing, how it was wrong, and it's no accident.
I swore she was in the house playing with her sisters like she always does. Just been right now, haven't been doing anything else really around the house. And like
What time?
Well, we never do this anywhere, but I'm home, right? Like you're home, you're safe, your kids are home.
I'm sorry this is all going on.
We always park that car in the
No,
garage usually, but I just got a Peloton recently, and the Peloton is in the garage now, so that's why it's not even in the garage. But
And how long was she sleeping in the car out there?
I want to say it was no more than 30, 45 minutes. And I don't think the air was off that entire time. I think there was a time in between. I had checked on her last, it was still running, she was still sleeping, and then when I went back out, the car was off.
So for anybody who didn't catch all those lies, let me go on Phoenix Wright real quick. He said he thought his child was in the house playing with her sister, which is a bold-faced fucking lie because you just said you put her in the car and she was sleeping. You also acknowledged that the child was in there for 30 to 45 minutes, meaning you should have either turned the car back on or taken her out of the car because you knew the car was going to be off, and you even acknowledged that the car was off when you got out there. Which to me sounds like I walked outside, my child was in the car was turned off, and I chose not to turn it back on or take my child out the car. Keep in mind, reportedly this child was in the garage, which means that nobody would have seen this child walking past, nobody could have helped the child at all. But to be honest, I think the reason is deeper and darker than that. I think the reason he put this child in the garage instead of out on the street is because he knew people were going to break into his car to save the little child, and he just wanted to cover up his bad parenting.
Able to change anything for her. She wasn't breathing on her own, we didn't have a pulse. So we continued the CPR and in order to try to regain that. I don't know what that's going to look like from this point. Okay, as you know, she's very hot right now, and we're going to do everything we can to mitigate that. So with that said, I have some folks who are coming by. They're with the fire department, and they're going to help you walk through some things. Now I understand that your wife went with her, correct? Okay. So and we have some other folks that are going to be pulled over there as well. Okay, so along with the law enforcement and our community assistance people, they'll walk through some of the things, get you ready to go down to the hospital. Okay. Do you have? I'm very sorry for this. This is not something we ever planned for. Chris, do you have any questions for me? Oh my God. Chris,
So any death we have to treat like a crime scene? I know this is extremely difficult for you. This is a normal process that we have to follow through with. I don't want you to be blindsided by anything, but that's what's going to be going on for right now, okay?
So I'm being treated like a murderer?
Because you are one. According to your own story, you knew the dangers of leaving your child in that car. Even when you walked back into that garage, you knew the car was off and you chose not to turn it back on or take your daughter out of it. In my opinion, you putting that child in the garage was your attempt at covering up everything. Yes, you are being treated like a murderer because you are one. Because at the end of the day, it was your actions that led to the death of your child, and from everything that you've told in your own story, it was no accident.
No,
I just lost my video.
not at all. I know that. And I know this isn't easy for you. That's why I'm trying to be straightforward and honest with you, okay? I don't want to keep any secrets. I don't want to hide anything for you. Someone's gonna talk to you about what happened, though. All right. We will keep you updated with everything.
My whole family, my whole family's gonna be ruined.
We'll be all right.
Shower.
So we can't let you do that right now. We have to stand by with you. Okay? As soon as you can, we will let you
You can stay
know.
in the room if you want, but I'm gonna talk.
I know this isn't easy for you, but the quicker we get this done and finish up, the sooner you can be with your wife. All right?
I'm
We
trying
need
to
stand
rinse
by
off
with you.
so I can go to the
I know,
hospital
but
to do it.
So basically, this fucking goofball is more concerned about taking a hot shower than actually being at the hospital with his own child and wife. He won't even do the bare minimum to make it up to his wife by just being there for his own child. Just imagine that in your last moments, when your father could do anything to make it up to you, he would be more concerned with having a hot shower than actually being there for you after his own actions caused you to be in that situation. As I said, my heart goes out to the family. And if you're wondering what this background footage is, it's the arrest footage. So at least for me personally, there's a happy ending. Now, I'm just going to tell you to like and subscribe because I really can't end the video the way I usually do. This is a heartbreaking situation, and please tell me what you think about it in the comments below. I hope that everybody can agree that this person deserves to be in prison. He doesn't even need to be thrown under the jail, we need to throw the jail on him. But that's about it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.